forgetting, lads, Mexico just beat Costa Rica in the quarterfinals of the Copa de Oro. We're here to talk about it. Hopefully this video is up within like the hour after it just happened. So if you haven't watched the highlights, I'd recommend going to watch the highlights and then come watch our video over again. We're here to talk about it. Like I said, Mexico beat not Jamaica. That's tomorrow. Beat Costa Rica. I almost like Guatemala too. Beat Costa Rica 2-0. Give me your guys' thoughts. Andres, we'll start with you. Andres watched more of the game than we did because Diego and I were busy. But, Andres might be a Mexico fan. He might be a Mexico fan.
Is that it's an Alvarez kit?
No, it's a Rafa Marquez kit.
That's an old kit.
It's an old.
We talked about it last week.
2010.
Did we? Oh, my bad.
It's like 2011, 2010. My thoughts. Lackluster performance until the subs came on. Personally, Martin and Thuna highlights for me of the shittiest players on that pitch today. Nothing happened. Martin looked like normal Martin. Didn't do anything. And Thuna, he's something else in a bad way. Pineda, I thought played well. Midfield.
He was balling.
Yeah. Midfield played okay. I mean, not really convincing for me, but I thought the sub should have came on sooner from Lozano personally, to change the game more. I understand leaving the players on to make it work, but I don't think that's our best line possible. But clearly he thinks so, based on the fact that he keeps picking the same players for the past 3 games besides the Qatar game. And he's probably the most comfortable with those players. But I think, Santi Jimenez has to start. I mean, he almost scored twice coming on immediately.
We've been saying this.
Yeah. But Martin just doesn't cut it. He just seems so lazy and gets frustrated so easily. Santi Jimenez almost scored twice and created the second goal. Let's be real. He created that second goal. And Roberto Alvarado, with the classy pass to find I forgot his name. What's his name? Sanchez, yeah. Find Sanchez. I mean, all 3 subs linked up for that second goal. And they looked the players that came on looked a lot better than the players that came on for. So I think some changes have to be made for either Jamaica or the Guatemala game, depending on the result for that game tomorrow.
I want to say, as for the substitutes coming on, not to take credit away from them because they did do way better. I do want to highlight Costa Rica's lack of substitutions, which also made Mexico's substitutes look better. They didn't make any substitutions until the 81st, 82nd minute, with not even 10 minutes to go, and we could help even by the 65th, 70th minute. Costa Rica had no legs in the game anymore. When Mexico were doing whatever they wanted, Costa Rica would send the ball up top, and then they would do something cool, and then lose the ball, and Mexico would go on the counterattack. I don't understand what the thought process is there, and obviously it didn't work. I think if you make subs sooner, then you can combat the quality of Mexico substitutions a little bit better. Maybe prevent the second goal, maybe get a goal for yourself. A little iffy. I mean, but
I feel like maybe behind the Costa Rica, the quality on the bench wasn't great. Then the quality that was on the pitch possibly could be. I don't know, because I'm not a Costa Rica fan.
Even
I don't know the players.
I would even put for lower quality on just fresh legs. I mean, that's what most teams do. There's a reason on the bench, but having fresh legs does a number against a better team who has who are way worse energy wise. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
I thought maybe I also another argument for it is just because they had some chances with the players on the pitch and they didn't want to ruin that. But I felt like they weren't really close except for that in the first half where Ochoa made that good save that was low on the ground, palmed it away. I thought that was probably their best chance. But yeah, I think they gave it to they did their best against Mexico against a lackluster Mexican side. I think Costa Rica got the ball, played the ball out really well from their half. They were able to pass the ball really well. They just lacked the final touch in the final third, which was unfortunate for them. Good for Mexico and all the fans. But I think if they were a bit crisper in the final third, I think they would have probably equalized to an extent or gave Mexico a run for their money and possibly could have won the game based on the fact that Mexico was flat for a lot of the game, had nothing going forward. But I think they got the job done, Mexico, at the end of the day. But I think some changes have to be made, and the same lineup cannot be played again for the next game. Personally,
I'm going to pivot the discussion here then to Diego, to give Diego a chance to respond, and then of course I'm just going to respond afterwards. After this game, this was the first knockout game. Mexico still contenders? In terms of confidence in this Mexico side, did it help? Did it boost it? Did it decrease it?
Um, I thought in the second half. Okay, I didn't watch the first half, but in the second half, I thought there was some really bright moments for Mexico. I thought there was some good passing movements. They were keeping it well, and I know obviously Costa Rica are probably you would consider a level below them, but they're still a good team, some good players, and just a well coached team. So I thought I didn't think Mexico were horrible. I didn't think they were great in the by any means, but I didn't think they were horrible. I thought they were all right, and I like some of the things I saw, like Santi Jimenez, Pineda I thought was really nice. He was cooking whoever that right back was. Like that guy could not stay with him.
Yeah.
Um, like Andres said, Alvarado was really good when he came on. Um, I think there's some changes to be made to the team to the starting lineup for sure, but I think there's some bright flashes there. And honestly, like I think okay, this is not to take anything away from Guatemala, who are obviously could be a good team, but let's be
Yeah.
honest. I think we all know that Jamaica are the stronger team in that matchup, and if they, as the favorites, win that matchup, I think a Mexico Jamaica semifinal would be really really good. I think we could really see two teams that both have potential to go on and let's be honest, probably have to beat the U.S. in the final because they're probably going to U.S. probably going to beat Panama. Um, I think
I love
it.
you.
Don't even
You
consider the
completely
game.
screwed over Canada.
Bro, we
come
gave
on,
our
this is
ratings.
Canada.
We gave
This
our
is Canada.
ratings.
Let's
Go
go.
check
Come on
our
now.
We
grading
did.
video, and you'll understand why
Yeah.
we just disregarded Canada.
Yeah, no
It's
disrespect
true.
to Canada. I'm just as part Canadian here, but like, come on.
I
Yeah,
agree. That team is shit. If it was the A team,
Yeah.
different story. But that B
yeah,
team is
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
else.
B team is terrible. So, anyways, I think Mexico is really good, and I really, really want to see them play Jamaica. I think that'll be a good game.
I think so too.
I
I think so too.
I think it would be interesting because Mexico plays a lot of possession, obviously, and Costa Rica had some success on the counterattack, but Jamaica's front three are like known for their counterattacking possibilities. I mean, Antonio with West Ham, we play on the counter. He's used to it. He's able to hold the ball really well, and hopefully if he's able to feed it to Bailey or Gray, I think it's going to be a very tough match for Mexico personally. But that's going to be a good semifinal. Hopefully they get through so we can see that semifinal. But it's going to be a really good test for both squads to see where they're at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I know this about Mexico, but the did you hear the end of the? I mean, I just rewatched the Spanish stream.
No, I was watching the English stream.
Okay, so did you hear them like towards the end? Like they were running things to talk about, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well USA Canada, do you have any thoughts?" And they were like, "Oh, Canada have really asserted themselves as contenders for this Gold Cup and for the future in CONCACAF. It's Mexico, Canada, and USA are the top three. Anyone who
I
can
heard
win
that, yeah.
at any point." Like, what are you talking about? Canada looked so bad. Canada don't have a chance against USA. They don't have a. I'm sorry, they don't have a chance. Knock on wood. They don't have a chance against USA.
Watch them pull like an absolute worldie of a performance tomorrow.
If they couldn't do it against the other three teams they played against, they couldn't do it against the USA. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's just the announcers got to hype them up for the World Cup. Can't talk
Yeah.
bad about your partners
No, of
in
course.
this 2026
Of
World
course.
Cup. But
Of course,
they got to make
think-
some
I-
excitement happen.
I think the final is going to be USA Jamaica. Personally,
Mm.
I think Mexico could easily beat Jamaica. I don't say easily, but I think there is of course, equal. I think it's a fairly equal chance they beat Jamaica. But I think if any team so far was going to surprise Mexico, besides Qatar, because they don't really surprise them, it's just lucky. If there's any team so far that would surprise Mexico, I think it's beat Jamaica.
Agreed. I think
yeah.
it would be a really close match. I think it's 50-50 if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not
Yeah.
picking a side. I hope Mexico wins, but I generally don't know. It depends on the lineup for me. If it's a flat performance, I think Jamaica might score early, and then I think it'll be ropes a little bit. I think I'll put Mexico on the back foot, obviously, of course, but you know what I mean. All I gotta do is
Yeah.
play bunker ball, and they have really good defenders. So
Very true. It's gonna be good though. I'm excited, but every time I watch these games, it's really hard for me to like them because we're not watching these A squads. Like,
yeah, it's hard to get
course,
into
of
it.
course, yeah, of course, the tournament means something to these countries, and if the USA wins it, I'm gonna celebrate like crazy. But I don't really care about Jesus Ferrer lifting it as much as I care about Christian Pulisic lifting it. Like, I don't know if he didn't get caught up or anything, or if it was because he's with Nottingham. But Diego and I are doing a Premier League FM save right now, and I have a Costa Rican wonder kid. And I was looking for him for the Costa Rican game. I was like, oh, I was excited, and he wasn't there. I don't know if that's because of its B team or injury or whatnot, but it's like, I don't know. it's really hard for me to get into it.
Yeah, it's
As a USA fan.
difficult when the quality isn't there, but I mean, you gotta try and focus. That for me personally, like group stage didn't really matter to me, but now it's the knockout, so something's on the line. Like it's
Right.
expected to win still, but like there's still that like, oh, what if thing. So I try and keep that attitude of like, let's hope that it'll be a little bit exciting because I always want to see a challenge. I don't want to see an absolute slaughter, because then the game's not fun.
It's a good point.
But yeah,
it's a good point.
Is that all we got for?
I think it's pretty much all we got. So, yeah, Mexico, who do they play? Costa Rica reaction there. If you want more match reactions for the Gold Cup, please consider subscribing. Watch our grading each country's group stage video. We just released that a couple days ago.
Cuba, take the L. Cuba got take the L.
If you guys want more stuff, I think we might do some semifinal predictions. We'll probably do a final match reaction as well as other matches with Mexico, USA, Jamaica, whatnot. So if any of that interests you, consider subscribing to the Get in Football podcast. And hopefully, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.